when Srila Prabhupada the devotees took him to the Fisher Mansion. Ambarish and Govardhan took him there. He loved the Fisher Mansion. He said it'll be a perfect temple. He said every room is worth the asking price. As a matter of fact, he said, Krishna has saved this for us. So Prabhupada, after meeting with the owner and the real estate agent, they went out by the swimming pool at a table and sat there, and that's when Srila Prabhupada asked the owner to give us the property. He said, we're poor mendicants, if you can give us. And of course the man wasn't able to, but he was asking $350,000. The mansion had been built in 1928 for $2 million. It was considered one of the most beautiful mansions, Art Deco style, in the United States. And so then Prabhupada offered him $300,000, and they said, well, let us think about it. So after that, the real estate agent left, and Prabhupada asked Ambarish, he said, so is this possible? Ambarish said, yes, Srila Prabhupada. So then they went back to the Jefferson Street Temple. Ambarish went right up to the Brahmacharini ashram, knocked on the Brahmacharini door, and said, is Leka Shivanti here? And so Leka Shivanti came to the door, and Ambarish said, Srila Prabhupada wants us to buy the temple, He said, I can give half if you can give half. And immediately Leka Shivanti said, yes. And so that's how that happened. But recently, the man, Gil Groen, who sold the property to us, gave his expressed in written word his idea and reflections about Srila Prabhupada. And Bob Roberts, who was the longtime photographer in Detroit, who passed away recently, wonderful devotee, he asked Gil this, and a few years ago before he passed away, he sent it to me. So this is the owner's impression of Srila Prabhupada. Later, Srila Prabhupada and I went to the patio area around the swimming pool and sat at one of the tables out there. This is where Prabhupada suggested that I donate the facility to ISKCON in a good-natured way. I replied that I had many obligations and would like very much to be in a position to give him the place, but my obligations made this impossible. He smiled, and as I recall, we discussed my asking price. My impression of Prabhupada was that I was privileged to have met a man of great substance and wisdom. I was not aware of the full meaning of enlightenment at that time, but I now know that was the proper description for this amazing being. Prabhupada had a kind of electrifying presence, and I could sense that I was with a great and wise human being. So then the next experience I had, still a devotee with Gainesville, we went to, in 1975, the Philadelphia Rath Yatra. And because we were book distributors, our duty during the Rath Yatra was to distribute books. And so the carts, Prabhupada did not start with the beginning of the parade. And the carts were coming down this large, wide street. And I was maybe 3/4 of a block in front of the cart. I think I was probably the furthest devotee out in front of the cart. And all of a sudden there was a commotion at the side street, and it was Srila Prabhupada's car had arrived, and Prabhupada got out. And Brahmananda was on one side and Kirtananda was on the other, and they started walking down back to the cart. And I was right there distributing a Krishna book. And of course I was thinking, oh, Srila Prabhupada, please notice me, I'm distributing your book. And I told the man I was distributing the book to, I said, oh, here's the author right now. And it was a very wide street. They were, for sure, way out of earshot. And just as I said that, Srila Prabhupada turned to his left and went like this, like to both of us. And it was like, oh, Prabhupada recognized me. I was, of course, wearing saffron and shaved up. And the man I was distributing the book to, his mind was totally blown, and my mind was totally blown. And I remember he gave a nice donation and took the book, and I was just feeling so elated because, to be recognized by the spiritual master is a very wonderful feeling. It's like the, epitome of the best thing that can happen to you in your life, especially if you're doing something that's pleasing to him. And we all knew that his mission was to distribute these books, and to distribute them pleased him. And we could experience that also because you got such a wonderful taste from distributing Prabhupada's books. Jai Anilo